your dreams.
I'm coming straight out.
New York, big city of dreams.
NYC.
That is right. What's going on? This is Jealous from Nick of Time Show. Here giving you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And I think you guys know what time it is, right? It's time to hit the gunshots right now, okay? The Knicks just beat the Washington Wizards. We beat them twice in a row, y'all. We beat them twice in a row. They came out with the zeal. They came out with something to prove. Russell Westbrook was all in his feelings. He was blocking shots all willy-nilly, flexing on people, screaming, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter because the Knicks still end up winning. And listen, we did it in dramatic fashion, and we are going to talk about it. Before we talk about it, let's introduce our guys. First and foremost, we have our guy from Knicks, Just Etc., Alex Trateros. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, Jay Ellis. Fantastic win today. Nothing I can say is I'm just happy and I love this goddamn team.
Yeah, damn right we love
right
this
now.
team, man. We winning. We finally win. We finally beaten the teams that we're supposed to beat. It's a sign of a pretty decent team, you know, and hopefully we keep this going because we have a rough schedule ahead. But also I have with me today this guy I like to call the Raw Metaphor. It is my man from the YouTube channel across the street. It is the Raw Hebrew Remnant. What's going on, Raw?
Man, it's so good to be with you, Jay Ellis, and my man Alex Trateros. We are on point. The Knicks are on point. Life cannot be better. Let's do this thing.
Yeah, let's do this thing. But like I said, we're gonna start this off hype. Oh, because the Knicks have won 106-102. No Bullock, no Noel, no Derrick Rose. Elf got off the shelf for the first quarter. He was on the shelf for the second half, kind of, but he was off the
Elf
shelf.
was doing work. I ain't gonna front.
He's off the shelf for the first quarter.
Man. He was doing work.
And he started. But you know what? The Knicks have won. The Knicks are solely in 5th place now. And despite our slow start, you know, we still prevail. Like the Knicks, we started out the first quarter, we had like 0 assists. They were dunking us on willy-nilly. We was giving up too many transition buckets. The Wizards were running out. They were leaking out a lot. And Tom Thibodeau, he gave a timeout. It was an 18-9 start. Tom Thibodeau called timeout. And nothing much changed after that, really. It wasn't until the 3rd or the 4th quarter things start to turn around. And the Knicks and the second unit really came in and just took over the game, man. So, you know what? I'm going to leave this part of the game to Raw. Tell me, what did you think of the game? Tell me some takeaways, your feedback, and what did you see today from the Knicks versus the Wizards?
Well, you know, I was not surprised that the Wizards came out like gangbusters. I mean, they got blown out 2 nights ago, so they were gonna come out ready to play. Right?
Oh yeah,
so,
they had revenge on their mind for sure.
And I wasn't worried about the first quarter. I wasn't worried about the second quarter. I was wanting us to get in our game because you could even see, even during that part of the game, the Knicks were a better team, so they were outclassing them. So, and what I really liked is consistently all game long, the Knicks were winning the 50-50 balls. They were getting all the 50-50 balls, and so that's a good sign. And then when you're playing a bad team, like I said, we know because we're Knicks fans, we know what bad teams look like. So they were going to let us back in the game eventually, and so we knew they were going to come back. I just wanted to see how they closed. Not only that, whenever you see Rowan have a bad first half, you know Rowan's gonna come back with a strong second half, and that's what we saw.
Okay, yeah, you're right about that. Listen, today was a game where Rowan didn't really shoot well per se, right? He didn't really shoot well per se, but what he did was when he got a lot of and ones, he finished at the basket. He finished with 5 assists today.
That's right.
And he kind of toughed this game out. And guys, I peeped his stats. I see what you're saying. I'm working on changing on the stats when I'm talking this game out. But RJ really he did his thing. He became the Robin that we needed for sure. And it's interesting to see him kind of ascend before our eyes because he's getting better and better at just stepping up. And that demeanor that he had from his first year where he's just never rattled.
That's right.
It just continue. It just continues right now, and that's what you need from this team. You need somebody
That's right.
who's not going to be rattled, who's going to steer the ship, and that's what he's done. Even like Julius was out of it today, man. Only 13 points, was horrible from three, that thigh contusion, but RJ stepped up.
That's right. That's
so,
right.
Yeah, so it was a sight to behold. Anything to add to that, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, Jay, you and Ross said it all. I mean, I guess the only thing I would add, like, to watching this game, you know, it was just frustrating to watch in the first half because they were just missing their shots and shots that they should be making. And we saw them demolish the Wizards earlier, like on Tuesday, right? So you thought they would come out with the same type of vigor, attack the Wizards because they know they're a better team. They know that there's going to be a tight playoff race that they have to make sure that they're on top of, right? So it was a little disheartening to see them that they didn't come out with all that energy. They were a step slow on defense. Offense, there wasn't a lot of ball moving. No one was really cutting. It was a lot of like just ISO ball, just trying to make their own shots, and that wasn't really working. But as soon as that, you know, I would say the pivotal moment of this game was when we saw RJ Barrett get that tip in the end of the third quarter, and you saw him. He's like, "Let's go."
That's right.
Let's go. And
right.
you saw like he was bringing that energy. He said to IQ high, like everyone was starting to get hyped. It's like, all right, we got this. And then RJ comes out in the fourth quarter, gets into his bag, starts facilitating, is looking at Westbrook like, nah, you're not going to clown me today, boy. You're not clowning me today. I'm going to take it to you. And like we saw what Russell Westbrook was doing in the first quarter. He had 4 blocks, and RJ's like, nah, I'm going to take it right back. I'm going to give it right to you. Got everyone involved. You had Burks come out in the fourth quarter, go into his bag, give you 27 points tonight. Mm-hmm. Was clutch again. He's been averaging over 20 points in the last couple of games. Absolutely. And Burks has really been a catalyst of this team, especially with the second unit. He had great minutes, as Ross said earlier, from Taj tonight. Taj was just doing everything you want again. Solid rebounds, boxing out, setting tough screens, making sure that no one was getting easy points. You saw that Robin Lopez was getting those easy hook shots. That's fine, whatever. But Taj was making sure that he was earning it and not getting anything free. And then IQ came out a little slow in the first, had a little rest on the bench, came back in, and he was like, nah, I'm gonna knock down some shots. Let's get this thing going. And then just end it, man. They came to close it out, which is like it's so weird because we're so used to the Knicks not closing out games. We were like, all right, here comes the fake comeback alert from the New York Knicks. And now it's just like, now you're just like, you watch this team like, now I'm pretty confident we can win this if we're just staying.
That's the weird thing about this game, man. That is the weird thing about this game. The weird thing about this game was I wasn't really worried the whole time because when I was watching the stats, and I was looking, it's like, okay, the Knicks are down. Okay, we're down 7. We got down to 11. Like there was egregious things happening, right? Like for instance, the second unit when we didn't box out on the foul shooter and that turned into a 4-point swing. I was pulling my hair out. That happened twice in the same game, right? The transition defense was horrible. With all that being said, we only hit, I think, 1 3-pointer in that first half, and it was from IQ. And the thing is, like, when you're looking at this team right now, if you're looking at this team, we are 10th in the league in 3-point shooting, right? So when I'm looking at this game, and I'm like, all right, we're 10th in the league in 3-point shooting. These guys are the 25th worst defensive team in the league. At some point, something's going to give. At some point, something's going to give, and that's exactly what happened. And between RJ Barrett stepping up and Alec Burks, who's been a flamethrower, this is the Alec Burks that I saw last season when I cheesed about Bubble Burks and the guy who's running the offense for the 76ers and the Golden State Warriors. This is the guy that I wanted, and I think it's the guy that every Knicks fan wanted because I know a lot of people were saying we should trade him, but this is his 5th game with 20 points or more, and he's being a guy who can be kind of a 1B with RJ because he had 27 points today.
Well, the thing about Burks is that I knew before, but it's going to come into prominence now. He is actually a better playoff player than a regular season player. He's one of those guys. He's like George Hill. We know you find him on a playoff team at the end of every season. So he's like that but he cut his teeth in Utah. You're gonna find he's gonna play better in the playoffs than he plays now. I'm telling you, he's a good playoff player. So what he's bringing now, I'm very happy to see. Because what happens now, he's not a great finisher. He'll frustrate you. he'll get to the basket and miss shots that you expect him to hit. But
Absolutely.
when he starts hitting that mid range and them threes, man, and that's what was going tonight. He was doing it like you could see he wasn't nervous.
Yeah,
He was knocking it down.
You know the thing about Burks is, and I'm starting to realize, I think he plays better with the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
And I think that might be why his game is being taken to another level. He's been a shooting guard, off ball guy for so long, but he seems just to play better with the ball in his hands. So I wonder what happens. Like, I definitely want Derrick Rose back.
Right.
I wonder how he'll adjust with the ball out of his hands a little bit less, because
that's an interesting point you bring up, because let me ask you, did you notice, I wasn't paying close attention to this, Alex also, what did Burks play like when he was on the floor with Quickly? Because that's when Rose is on the floor, he's going to have the ball in his hand, but what we really want to know is when Quickly comes in with that second unit. I did not notice that chemistry tonight. So did y'all? I didn't notice that chemistry. How did Rose play? How did Burks play with IQ?
It's kind of like a going back and forth between two guys who can create their own shot.
Exactly.
It's like, all right, IQ, you bring it up, you do your thing. I'll take a go at it if you're not getting anything. So it's not, neither one of them are true point guards, right? Mm-hmm. They're both playmakers, both shooters. So they're looking for their own shots most of the time, but they know when to give it up if they don't really have anything, but they're hunters. So I don't know who's a good comp for this, but you know, when I watch both of them, it's kind of, you know, it's like the same thing when you watch Lou Will, right? Like Lou Will needs the ball in his hands to start getting a feel in. That's what Burks and Quickly are. They need to be bouncing the ball, touching it, making sure they can feel it, kind of get a gauge that way, and just start shooting, just start putting up shots to get that feeling. But I think with them, you know, this is where, like, to go with what happens with Derrick Rose. This is where I want Derrick Rose in the starting unit.
Yeah,
I think with him in the starting unit, you know, you get that penetration into the lane. You get a guy who's a better jump shooter than Elfrid Payton. So you get to
Frank was a terrible thing, man.
Well, the thing is, like, you got Frank, who's old timid when it comes to shooting. He's more comfortable in the second unit, and then you have Payton, who, God, man, it is flat. I have never seen an arc so flat in my life when someone shoots.
We know it's coming, man. Every time.
But he did all right, though. He did all right.
He did all right. Yeah, I'm not killing him. He did all right. He made some crucial buckets, like when we needed it before the end of the first. But you know, like D Rose, like someone who can at least give you a jump shot, because they went to zone again. Like we cannot have.
Yo,
we cannot have. We cannot have.
Exactly. We can, no, you're right, man. You're right.
Can't have someone going to zone on us.
You know, they each could pair well with a shooter. You know, but dag, them two together, man, it's like having two guys that can't see trying to.
No, you're exactly right.
Every time I watch, it's like you're playing like in a pickup league, or like just like something like you just like, all right, guys, we're going to zone, and it's like, oh my god,
and it's just like,
what is going on
again? Like, I thought we got to, because we were 10. Like I said, I just know there's a correlation between us being the 10th best 3-point shooting percentage in the league after a stretch when Elfrid Payton has been in and out of the lineup. I don't think that's by accident.
That's true.
I don't think that's by accident.
That's true, Jay.
Like we've talked about, you know, Reggie Bullock has been shooting better over recently. So it's Alec Burks last 5 games he's reached 20 points. Everybody's been Julius Randle, but I think a part of all of that is Elfrid Payton has not been here.
You're right, man. There's 27 games left. Hopefully we get Derrick Rose back so that he can get in the flow.
Absolutely.
And when he's in the flow, and not really, we have a little taste of it before he got the COVID thing. But I think if we can get him in the flow and running with that starting unit, we're going to be in really good shape. We're really going to be in good shape, man. But so I'm looking for that. But I just wanted to see, because it seemed to me IQ wasn't forcing it as much as he did Tuesday night. He was definitely being more.
Nah, you're absolutely right.
More smarter with the basketball, and that helped, because I wasn't sure. I didn't really focus on the dynamic between him and Burke. But it's important, because when D Rose comes back, you're going to see that. You're going to see that dynamic.
Yeah, matter of fact, if you're looking at the stats, and I'll switch to the stat, the stat thing real quick. IQ actually had 3 assists today, which isn't a whole lot, but I feel like the assists he had were timely and they were impactful to the game. I've always talked about him diversifying his shooting. I mean his passing. I saw him breaking down the defense and making that pass to the corner. This is something that RJ's been doing all day, and that led to a huge 3. That kind of started to break open the game. So I've seen that happen. I've seen him do like a nice little pass in the paint in traffic, and for a guy who's like short, that's a hard pass to make. So there's guys who keep saying that Quickly's not a point guard, and he might not be the quintessential point guard today, but it's still only his first year.
That's right.
And he can develop some point guard skills, especially with the guys, the coaching staff we have. And hopefully, the coaching staff we have actually stays here.
Please.
Actually stay here.
That's a whole nother thing. That's like the whole world is against us trying to pilfer our coaching staff, man.
Exactly.
That's a fact.
But if you're looking at the stats here, 0 assists for Alec Burks, 3 assists for Emmanuel Quickly. Go ahead, Alex.
No, what I was going to say, just to add on what you're saying, JLS, it's like, I think we have to understand that IQ is not a point guard now, right? If they're trying to get him to be a point guard, it's going to be down the line. And there's a lot of stuff that he has to learn to become a point guard. This is kind of why I'm in favor of him coming off the bench, because, he's a good, we see what the second unit's like when we have him in the starting lineup and we have, it's Obi, Knox, Frank, Taj, it's rough, man. That's rough. I honestly it's just going from scoring to nothing, and it's not that it's nothing against them. It's just that is what it is.
Right.
So with IQ coming off the bench, he gets to play that Lou Will role for now, which is fine. Go get your own shots. If you find somebody open, go find somebody open. I think IQ is a little too much. I think the coaching staff tells him, hey, you are our shooter. You need to go get your shots. But I think sometimes rookies, it's hard to understand how to balance that system of all right, go get my own shots while still being a playmaker, right?
Absolutely.
Because you can't just go in there and just shoot 20 times and not look for anybody. So I think IQ's just going back and forth between that rookie learning curve of just all right, hey, I'm not having it right now. I got to give it up to either Knox, Obi, Burks. Someone else has got to operate because I need to go find my spot, keep moving off ball, keep the defense moving, keep the defense honest, keep them shifting, something along those lines. And it's just a process. But for anyone who thinks IQ is a point guard, he's not now, but he can be in the future if that's what they want him to be. He's just going to take some work to get to that point.
Yeah.
I know. Did you notice that Randall was actually looking for him a lot tonight?
I mean, Randall was looking for everybody. He wasn't really trying to shoot tonight. Really.
Yeah, I was surprised he was looking for IQ.
But he looks for IQ. There's moments even before the game he looks for IQ. He's like, no, man, you take the shot. It's okay.
Exactly.
You see who Randall trusts and who not to take a shot, and he gives that trust. He's like, yo, IQ, take this, man. Do it. Do your thing.
Reggie Bullock for sure. Alec Burks for sure.
That 2-man game with Reggie Bullock.
Yeah, sorely missed today.
I forgot Reggie Bullock didn't
play. Yeah. And IQ for sure. And shout out to Randall because he played horrible all game, but he hit 2 really clutch shots at the end.
Absolutely.
And I kept saying this before in the last few games about the help, because what Randall's problem has been for so long is he's been having to run the offense the entire time where he's gassed by the end of the game. This game, he had the luxury of letting other people do a lot of the work. We had, Alec Burks 27 points, RJ Barrett with 24 points, and now he has something in the tank. In the last 2 possessions of the game, he dribbled hard, full speed, went to his spots, and hit that jumper with confidence. And I feel like the last couple of weeks, he's been missing those because he's been gassed, but having some secondary help consistently is going to be huge for us, man. Especially if Alec Burks can keep that magic going for the second half of the season. That's a huge asset for the Knicks.
That's right.
Huge asset. All right. And salute to the chat, man. Shout out to the chat. Y'all been patient. I haven't really shouted y'all out yet. Man, y'all been supporting the KOT show, man. So salute to you guys, man. Thanks for y'all for watching. And so me just shout y'all. First of all, let me hit off the super chats, man, because y'all giving love early.
That's right. Hit them up, baby.
Giving love early. And shout out to everybody. Everybody knows the super chats is going to grow the channel. It's going to the writers. It's going to the equipment. We already know he's getting a new camera. Ryan's getting a new So when you see Raw in HD in like a week and a half or so, that's thanks to you guys. All right. So shout out to Sora. Says shout out RJ. He sends a $2 super chat. All right, and I see the little Dragon Ball Z Android photo, so shout out to you, fellow anime fan. Shout out to Fat Boy with Knicks, who sends a $2 super chat. It says the real BB bully Ball Barrett is here, right? Anti no slander, no channel slander, no cross content creator slander, right? All right. Shout out to my guy Illa, man. Yo, I'm sorry Illa.
I feel bad too, though. I didn't want him to trade Iggy. Shoot.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I know Illa is feeling it today because your boy got traded. So, but shout out to Illa. He's still here supporting the KLT show. He says RJ Barrett, the Canadian assassin, strikes again. You're
That's right.
damn right.
That's right.
Shout out to you for that super chat, all right? And shout out to D Nice. He says, salute to Jay Ellis. Keep doing your own thing, man. Can you touch on the Phil Jackson interview? I didn't catch the interview. I felt like the interview came out during the game. That's when I first saw it.
Yeah. So I got someone text me about that too, one of my boys, and I'm like, what interview with Phil Jackson? Huh? I did not know.
I didn't catch it yet.
And what Phil Jackson gonna say anyway?
Yeah, like
that's the other thing.
Yeah,
I'm not looking out for Phil Jackson to talk about the Knicks, in all honesty.
Yeah, that's not something I ran to. I'm going to read it because
going for that $60 million you just gave me because I ain't do nothing.
Like I know he has nothing good to say. In the headlines, I saw somebody comment that he had nothing good to say and he didn't take any accountability for anything.
No.
So I'm not gonna rush to read it. I'm gonna read it though, just because I'm me and I'm gonna read it, just because it has something to do with the Knicks, and I just read stuff that has stuff.
I learned a lot from him because I thought that he would be a good president, and I have to give some of the idiots on ESPN some props because they was like, he can't, he's not a president, he's a coach.
Right.
And he was trying to coach from the president's box, and that just messed everything up.
Yeah, he did. You can't do the coaching tactics from the president's box. You can't send master and then not speak to somebody. Like that's not how stuff works here.
He's stepping all over your coach, man.
Exactly.
So
And always bruh for him for the way he treated Melo. I never liked the way he treated Melo.
Oh my gosh, man. What the hell? Talking about him behind his back and talking about, if I got you man.
Yeah.
I don't know about this.
Moving on. That was moving on. We in greener pastures now. We got cat space. We got picks. We got greener pastures right now. We gonna move on.
That's right. We not looking
Phil
back.
Waxon. We gonna move on from
go forward,
right?
baby.
Shout out to Lana since a $5 super chat. He says Tibbs needs to start Rose once he's back. Give Frank Payton's minutes coming off the bench alongside IQ and Burks, and see if you can get it going. I'm with you 100%.
Believe me, Rose is going to start. That's not even going to be a problem. Rose is going to start.
I hope so. But first and foremost, before we even get into that, let's just shout out to Frank for making it through another trade season unscathed because, man, I thought he was gone.
Frankie 9 lives, baby.
I thought he was
This
gone, man.
He's been in every trade rumor you could possibly imagine, and somehow he made it through the last trade deadline of his contract. Last of his rookie contract. That's amazing.
Somehow he's going to sign a new deal, man. He's going to break the Charlie Ward court. I don't know how, but he's going to do it.
If that happens, Jay Ellis, you won't see Jay Ellis. Jay Ellis will be gone. He'll be on vacation.
I'll be on vacation. The gunshot, you hear the gunshots, you hear all. Y'all be so man. I don't have so many unsubscribes. It's not. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh man.
Sorry. Frank Hive will be here though.
I don't even care if people unsubscribe. I'll be like, man, I'm in the Frank Hive. You come in the Frank Hive talking mess, you're gonna get stung. That's the way it is.
Yeah, Raw takes it to another level, but that's a whole other story. That's a whole other story. All right, yo. Salute to the rest of the chat, yo. Shoot to Craig Williams, Jose Alvarez, Joshua Rivera, the Knicks verse. Tell him Alejandro always here early. D Nice, Fat Boy. Y'all here. Cody Emmanuel. Cody's been rocking with me for like 3 years following the KOT
Oh,
show.
for real?
Yeah,
All right.
Yo,
Nice.
Cody was watching when we had like a camcorder. And
What?
Wow.
When y'all was in the apartment?
Yo, go in the archives of the KOT show on YouTube when our early episodes when it was like a camcorder in the garage and the mics was covering our faces, and it was woo. Yeah, he's been through with us. So shout out to you, Cody. You've been through like 5 iterations of the KOT show.
Yeah, he go back all the way, man. He go back all the way.
Facts, man. # old for Cody for sure. All right. Any more tidbits about the game, or you want to get into this trade stuff and what's happening?
Nah, game over, man. Let's do this.
Let's go. Let's go, yo. Yo, gotta shout out to my boy Ronnie Sanders, my boy in real life from Canarsie, Brooklyn. Shout out to Brooklyn all day.
Oh, Canarsie in the house.
Man. Canarsie, Pop Smoke, all that stuff. Yo, shout out to you, Rodney. All right, cool. So, yeah. So just in case, I don't know if you guys have been around lately, but today was a certain day. It was trade day. It was the trade deadline happened today. I'm not sure if this is news.
Trade deadline,
trade deadline happened today.
Trade deadline.
And there was a lot of storylines that were running simultaneously. One of them being the Lonzo Ball storyline, and it seemed like it has a bunch of twists, a bunch of turns.
That's right.
And it got all the way to the top, but it never quite hit the climax. And Lonzo Ball ended up staying exactly where he is.
That's right.
But what the Knicks did end up doing is making a bunch of small moves. Now, Ian Begley kind of reported earlier that he can see the Knicks staying packed and kind of being conservative at his trade deadline. So when this happened, I don't think half people probably weren't that surprised. But it is what it is. So as of now, the moves the Knicks have made, right, have just been the Knicks getting rid of or trading Iggy Brasdinks. He's gone.
And Austin Rivers.
Yeah. And Austin Rivers. Yeah, and shout out to my guy Iller, man. I know you feeling it. He's the number one Iggy, and he's the number one Iggy and RJ fan in Knicks Nation. I don't think anybody can take that crown away from him. That's just what it is. He's the number one Iggy and RJ fan in Knicks Nation. So I know he was hurt when Iggy was traded. But as of today, the Knicks got Austin Rivers went to OKC, the OKC Thunder, and they got back Terrence Ferguson.
I'm surprised at that because he had to approve that trade. Like I'm saying, not officially, but I'm saying they wanted to send him to wherever he wanted to go. So
I'm surprised. I'm surprised they ended up going to OKC as well. I figured they would try to send him to more of a playoff team.
Yeah,
but we ended up sending Austin Rivers to OKC for 2 future second-round picks. And also came out later, we had the rights to Elmer Prelsdick, which is interesting. And it's funny because we always get these rights for people who aren't here.
And we never see him.
You never see him, but you what that means is we want some type of value back, but we want to keep our roster spot open. That's usually what that means.
Right.
And there's a buyout market happening. So you can tell like the Knicks are deliberately just trying to keep that buyout market.
So aside from Drummond, who else is on the buyout market?
And we'll get to that. We can get to that too.
Right.
But also, the Sixers also found out a little wrinkle. The second round pick from the Miami. One of the second round picks is from Miami. It's a 2024 Miami second round pick, and it's protected from the 31 to 55. All right. Now, what was you saying, Roy? What was your question?
No, I'm wondering, because I'm not even paying attention to this Drummond garbage. I know that LaMarcus Aldridge does not want to come to New York. So I'm wondering, aside from those 2 players, who else is on or eligible to be, or who you expect to be on the buyout market?
Shoot, that's a good question. I mean, the most notable ones I know on the top of my head have been Andre Drummond, LaMarcus Aldridge, Otto Porter from the Bulls, because I know.
Oh, you think because he's expiring. That's true.
Yeah, Otto Porter from the Bulls. I think I also saw Jabari Parker as well. Yeah, so it's funny because I'm looking at Terrence Ross too. I didn't see Terrence Ross on a certain list, but I would think that he would want to be out.
Now, if they bought Terrence Ross out, that would be an interesting name for us to consider.
Exactly. So I'm not sure who the Knicks are targeting in the buyout market. I know that the news that's been out has been that the Knicks, there's some people in the Knicks that are monitoring we talked about this behind the scenes.
The Drummond situation.
The Drummond situation. but the taking it has only been like one or two people. And
Yeah.
me and Alex, we did a whole show about Andre Drummond, and my thought has been, he's like, it doesn't really make sense. It doesn't mesh with
It
our
makes
team.
no sense. You got
Right.
Mitchell Robinson, you got Taj Gibson, you got Nerlens. What the hell you need with Andre Drummond for? No.
Yeah,
That's
the only way it fits for me is if he comes off the bench. That's the absolute only way he even
yeah,
makes
but
sense in
then
my
you're
brain.
taking away minutes from either Nerlens or Taj.
Exactly. Nah,
I don't see Drummond.
This chemistry. See, chemistry is not no light thing, man. So
no, you're right.
have created this chemistry for 45 games now. You don't throw that away for a cat that you don't even know if he's going to help you or not. I mean, no.
And my thing with Drummond too is that, yes, I agree with you, JLS. Like, if he came off the bench, I highly doubt he'd come off the bench.
Yeah, I don't think that's his
He's been a
thing.
starter this entire time. There's no way he's coming in and be like, yeah, sure, I'll just play 15 minutes a game. He's looking for that. He's looking for that next contract. Okay,
Right.
He got a 28 some odd $1 million contract. He's looking to get paid again. It doesn't make any sense. I think, sure, like teams have there's people within the organization that have an interest, like any other NBA team. Like there's people within the organization that like Victor Oladipo within the Knicks, but they didn't
Right.
make a move for him. You know what I mean? So. I
Westbrook-
don't think it's going to happen for Andre Drummond. I think it's just too repetitive, honestly. And then when if you think about the way the Knicks are structured right now, when you have RJ Barrett, you have Julius Randle, who both love to work in the paint. At some point, Drummond, if he was here, has to be with those guys on the floor at some point.
Right.
That's just too much in the paint. And Drummond's not a guy who just sits in the dunker spot. That's the thing about, when you look about Mitch and Nerlens Noel, they don't need to have their back to the basket and try to have like offensive possessions, right? They could just chill and wait until one of those guys makes a move and then go clean up. And that's the beauty about those two guys. That's why I just don't see how Drummond like fits in this whole system.
Go ahead, bro.
I think he's going to the Lakers. I purposely think Portland would be the best spot for him, but I think he's going to the Lakers because LeBron and AD are hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And the thing about the Knicks too is the cap space kind of gives us a little bit more leverage to pick off people who are on the waiver wire.
Oh, yeah.
So that because we have right now about $13.5 million in cap, we pretty much have dibs on anybody who's being bought out.
I think they got 16 million.
Is it 16 million? No, because we got
they gained about 700,000 on this Bras Vegas situation.
Right, but then we have 2 second rounders too. So I think doesn't that count? 2 second rounders and Ferguson and
Do they count the second rounds against the cap right now before the draft?
Isn't it
No.
Ferguson? I mean, I'm not a second round. I'm talking about Ferguson and Foyer, the person we
They waived that other cap.
He got cut.
Yeah, they waived
Yeah.
him. So it was 3.9 from Ferguson, and what happened between Iggy and who did they send out? They sent out Iggy and
Rivers.
That was about a 4.3. Rivers was 3.3. Iggy was 1.7. So that's like 6. So that's 5. So between the two of them, we gained about 800,000.
Okay. Well, it's between 13. Between 13.
The Knicks at 15 million. in
Right,
cap.
between 13, we have between 13 and 15 million. Either
Yeah.
way, we still have the most in the league. So really, like, we pretty much have first dibs. And the playoff teams like the Lakers and these guys who are looking for buyout candidates, if we really don't want them, we can really pass on them, really, because we have first dibs on who we can pay or who we want to pay. Now, if we want to pay them, it's a whole different story.
Yeah, we ain't
Yeah.
got time.
Yeah. And I pulled up like a whole list, as a buyout candidate list, and I'll just read the top 10. We have Andre Drummond, LaMarcus Aldridge, Otto Porter, Avery Bradley is interesting. Yeah, but he hasn't really played this season. But I always love this game.
Yeah, I always like Avery Bradley.
Love this game. Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah, but the Heat, they have a lot of guards and things going on over there, so he might be a candidate as well. Of course, they have Austin Rivers listed. Corey Joseph as well, Rodney Hood, Hassan Whiteside, Ben McLemore. So yeah, Mo Harkless.
All of them players.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
I like.
yeah.
I like not Hood. He's streaky, man. He could get hot or not, but I like Avery Bradley though.
Avery Bradley is would be an interesting, you know,
And
flyer on for the end of the season.
killer, man. He's always been a Knick killer.
Yeah, if healthy, I have to see how he is. I would do it healthy. I can see a flyer on Avery Bradley, but is Avery in Houston? Is he picked up already?
Yeah, but he's picked up, but they're probably gonna buy him out. I mean, we're talking about potential buyout candidates.
No, I see Kenny Scott has said Avery's in Houston.
Yeah, he's in Houston, but I'm saying he's a potential buyout candidate. He's on an aspiring deal, so I'm saying if they buy him out, he can go anywhere he wants.
Absolutely.
For Houston, it's like weird. I'll just throw this. Like, it seems like they're weird, like how they're just trying to shed money and just like have no one on the book. So that's why I think they have Avery Bradley as a potential buyout.
Yeah,
Tillman Fertitta is just.
It makes sense. Avery Bradley's trying to get in the playoffs, so he's not gonna stay in Houston, but he's gonna get bought out.
And that's the thing about these buyout candidates too. Usually these buyout candidates, especially the older ones, they want to go to playoff teams.
Right.
Usually money or just even championship teams. That's usually
right. He was on the Lakers last year, so he definitely wants to go back to the finals. So I mean, he's going to get bought out. I don't know what. I mean, he's available. I'll put it that way. Houston's not
available.
Exactly.
He's available. But who else was available? Who might be available in the summer is some guy that we talked about a few times on this program. A guy we debated this yesterday, Raw. Is Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball.
Yeah, man. Today's business showed us a lot about Lonzo Ball.
Yeah, today was interesting because Lonzo Ball, the Knicks are still in pursuit of Lonzo Ball, according to Ian Bigley. Even though the trade deadline is over, we will be in talks when the summer. Now, it's funny how things unfolded, right, with Lonzo Ball. Because we said this yesterday, Raw. Like we saw the Clippers thing happening, but I always felt like Chicago was the biggest threat to land him. And
not no more.
Well, not no more. But the thing that the thing that made me nervous about Chicago, but also smile at the same time, was their first move.
Yeah.
The first move they made was they gave up their 2 first-round picks.
That's right.
For Vucevic, I'm like
Vucevic
now. Vucevic.
But you know what? That tells you right there. Lonzo is letting it know he wants to come to New York. He's not signed. Right. So why would they give up assets for a guy that's not committing to them? That's why they went after Vucevic. So, and that's why nothing happened. He's already look. You know how many teams could have used Lonzo Ball? The Clippers. I mean, so. No, he's coming to New York, man. The question is, how much is he gonna cost? I don't know,
but the thing, it's leverage. It's all about the leverage, Raw. Because we had a whole conversation about this the other day, and we was like, you know what, we should play hardball because it seems like from the get go, LeVar has been touting that the Lonzo to New York thing for a while. Right. Mm-hmm. And kind of like what's happening over there with Victor Oladipo, why nobody wanted to touch him. And he just walked to Miami. The same thing could be happening for us. So even though it was reported that the Knicks were looking into Lonzo Ball and his price, I do feel like we were kind of playing chicken just enough to keep Chicago away. You know, but we never had.
That makes sense.
But we never had any full intention to outbid ourselves.
No, I just had that. I had that vision in my mind. What you just stated. Like, in other words, here's David Griffin. He's on the line. He's on the line with Derek, with Leon Rose. David Griffin says, "Okay, I want Frank Ntilikina. I want Kevin Knox. I want 2 first." And Griffin said, "Okay, let me get back to you." Then you know what? Let me get now. Then he comes back. Let me get back to you. Now it's 3. It's 5 minutes to 3. Hey, listen. It's 5 minutes to 3. Griffin says.
Exactly.
Can we get this done? Let me get back.
Exactly. Just keep tying up the line. Just tying up the lines. I'll get back to you. Oh, you know I can offer this. You know what? We changed our mind. I'm not doing that. Like I feel like that's what was happening the whole time.
Past the deadline, we can't do anything now.
Exactly.
Well, it was reported by Kevin O'Connor of The Ringer that the Chicago Bulls offered Thomas Satoransky and 2 second-round picks for Lonzo Ball initially. So it didn't seem like they were ready to give up first rounders for Lonzo Ball to begin with because he is a restricted free agent. You're not sure if he's going to stay with Chicago. You don't want to throw away a lot of assets, at least with Vooch. You know you're going to have Vooch for a couple of years.
That's right.
You know, with who is it? I forget who the other guy went.
They got Zach LaVine. They got Laurie Marketing. They got Kobe White.
Yeah.
And who else did they get from Amino? They got Amino.
Amino, thank you.
Yeah.
It was Amino who they got in that deal as well. So, you know, Orlando was trying to do a fire sale today, but at least with Chicago, they're like, okay, we get a solid center, someone who can score, someone who's an all-star. You know, Laurie Markkanen's not necessarily reliable.
No.
For the past couple of seasons, he's too inconsistent for what they thought. He started out hot, didn't have enough, but you know, the Knicks were. I think what the Knicks were doing is like what we're always talking about. Like they were playing to make sure Chicago didn't get them.
That's right.
And I think at the same time, the Pelicans, you know, they just don't want to give up anybody. We'll see what happens this offseason when it's going to be a bidding war. Maybe they do a sign and trade. Maybe Leon Rose tries to keep a relationship with other teams' front offices. That way they can do negotiations, because that type of relationship is important in the NBA, where you just make these type of like, all right, you know, I'm going to make I'll swing a deal with you just to sweeten the deal that no other team would do. That's how you maintain relationships. That's how you get these like crazy trades. Like, how did someone get traded for this? And you're like, well, they have that foundation.
Yep.
But I think the thing that we could take away from the Knicks is that, especially this front office, is that they're not trying to get Buffalo. They're not trying to get Stucker. They're gonna be patient. They're gonna build what they consider to be the right way. Try to maintain as much assets. Look, they got another second rounder. They just love second rounders. So
yeah, man, they didn't stack them up.
we you know, they're waiting for this double draft, or they're waiting to like pull something. So we'll see what happens with all that. But the Knicks, you know, it was fine. It was a fine free agency. 2 years in a row, they've been good. You know, we traded Marcus Morris for a first rounder that turned into Emmanuel quickly. This season we didn't.
Oh, there you go. Go ahead.
And then this season, they don't make any. They make just between the margin moves. They wanted to keep that culture, as Ian Begley was reporting. Right? They didn't want to do anything crazy that was going to shake up the locker room. Tom Thibodeau came out today during the press and said he loves with the culture that they have. He loves the guys that he's working with. He has a 10. Austin Rivers was not cracking it. Iggy, you know, I did a whole write-up about Iggy, and I thought how the Knicks should just give him a chance from the G League because of how he's performing. Tibbs and everyone's like, look, you're not going to get a shot here. Might as well go get a shot somewhere else.
Got second round picks.
And we get second round picks
for another load somewhere, and
we're gonna have up to $60 million in cap space.
$60 million in cap space.
We can go big with anybody.
Nobody else. Everybody knows. No matter what happens, if Lonzo in his mind decides, I am not going to sign an extension with anybody but New York. I mean, that's it, man.
That's it.
That's what's going to happen. So the sign and trade, as Alex alluded to, is going to be a courtesy out of like future relationship situations.
Exactly, and that's exactly.
We can say no. He wants to come to us. It's over. So
exactly.
But you know, that being the case, so we're going to do something. We're going to send them something, but we'll see what it is. That's what I'm saying. I'm wondering how much we're willing to send them, because we don't have to send them anything.
Yeah.
The guy wants to come to New York.
Exactly, and that's why we was talking about behind the scenes, Roy. We was talking about, you know, the Frank made it. Frank made it. This last little hurdle, I can definitely see him being included in some type of Lonzo deal.
I definitely could see
just for
that.
like a sign and trade situation, man. I
yeah,
can definitely
the sign
see that.
and trade situation on both sides, because Frank is also in the option year. So they, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what they do, because, you know, say what you want about Frank. I mean, okay, so he doesn't play offense yet. I'm thinking 1 year in the summer with Tibbs and Kenny and them, he'll be a better offensive player next year. But this year, this kid is locked down. You put him on Westbrook, you put him on Bradley Beal. In the playoffs, that's very valuable, man.
Yeah, the playoffs is definitely viable. It's more valuable if you can hit shots.
Very valuable.
It's more valuable if you can hit shots, but there's always gonna be a role for a guy who can stop somebody else.
Right, and every once in a while, he will. Every once in like 4 or 5 games, he does start hitting some threes. But
exactly. But,
you know, so I mean, you know, it's. I don't think they want to get, and that's going to play a big role. Let's see what happens come playoff time. Who shows out in the playoffs? They're going to tell you who's going to be here next year.
Absolutely. Another big trade that there's a few trades that were kind of connected to us that didn't happen, but it kind of affects us a little bit. And another one is the Evan Fournier trade, man. I know some people were upset that all only took was 2 second-round picks.
2 seconds.
And Evan Fournier was off to the Celtics.
Yes,
We're jockeying with the Celtics, in the playoff race right now. How do you guys feel about us missing out on Fournier? Are you high, low, indifferent on that move? I feel like you guys are indifferent. I'm not.
I'm indifferent. I'm indifferent.
Yeah, I'm not too. I wasn't so desperate for Fournier. Like if we got him, we got him. But I wasn't gonna like hold my hat up for Fournier. Like he was injured this season. He was he's another Knick killer. But what for end of the season? Are you planning on re-signing him? I think the Knicks are. This is where I think the front office is looking like, all right, we can use these assets for something that's long term and more valuable. Like Fournier is for an end of the season type deal. I don't see Fournier coming back. And if you really want Fournier, you can go get him in the offseason.
That's true.
I don't know how much he adds to the culture. Maybe he had some shooting, but right now Bullock is like starting to catch up. Bergs is really doing a phenomenal job these past 5 games. So what is he adding? How do you fit him in? That's the real question. Like, where do you slide him in at that point? So are you moving Burks? Are you moving Bullock?
Right.
It's a lot of questions.
It's not like he's head and shoulders above Burks,
Right. Because to me, he would play the Burks role in my opinion.
Right. He's not.
He play the Burks role in my opinion.
It's not like he's Kawhi and Burks is Burks. It's not like that. So why do it? It's not
Exactly.
Especially when you want to keep your chemistry.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's chemistry above all right now. Chemistry is really above all right now. If it's not a move, any move we make right now is kind of like a ripple in a pond.
That's right.
Like if you take like a significant ball handling player and throw him in this team right now, it can work well or it can self-destruct really. So that goes from Andre Drummond to Evan Fournier to anybody else that was a free agent. So I'm cool. I'm gonna wrap that conversation up right there. There's been a lot of subsequent moves that happened, and I'm cool with what we have. I know some people got nervous because the Celtics have loaded up, the Bulls have loaded up, and we're staying pat. But we're in a good position either way because we still have the cap space. They still have to integrate those players into their system. We talked about behindhand. I'm not discounting their moves because they're both good players. It could work out for both teams, but it could also backfire. And there's something about continuity with a team that can kind of hopefully it can carry us throughout the second half of the season while they're trying to figure out the kinks and stuff like that.
And we have not had continuity in a long time.
Yeah,
long time.
A long time.
All right, yo. Salute to the chat one more time. Shout out to everybody in chat. Shout out to D Nice. He says, I don't want the Mavs to win. Yeah, the Mavs got JJ Redick. I know, yeah. The Mavs got JJ Redick. I know people wanted JJ. The Mavs got JJ Redick. I don't want the Mavs to win either, but, they've been winning a little bit more. So the pick is losing a little bit of steam, but, it's still our pick. Maybe we could package it with some other stuff and get something done. Who knows?
That's right. That's right.
But, yeah, shout out to D Nice. Shout out to Jose Alvarez. Shout out to Fritz Alessandro. Telem Alejandro. Oh, shout out to Raw Hebrews in the $5 super chat. Hey,
yo, let's do this thing right.
He says, salute to KOT crew, the next level. Shout out to Raw who's sending the super chat while on the show. All right. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to Josh.
Y'all inspired me. You and Alex inspired me. I said I gotta do something, man.
Salute to you, man. Definitely salute to you, man. All right, y'all. I'm about to wrap up the show, man. I'm about to wrap it up. Any more comments? Anything else you want to add to the show?
Man, let's get this win in Milwaukee, baby. Let's do this thing, baby. Let's do this thing.
Yeah, we got the Milwaukee Bucks on Saturday. So definitely watch out for that game. And also, we working on things here. So might have a surprise for you coming into next week. So stay tuned to the KOT show.
ICJL is slick. He always got something up his sleeve, man. Watch this boy.
Yeah, man. I got no sleeves, but I got stuff up my sleeve all the time.
Giving out teasers on the show. Look at that.
Oh yeah, exactly. Y'all might want to stay around in the
KOT's got stuff going on, baby.
Yeah, we might have some more stuff coming. All right, so just stay tuned. Stay tuned. All right. Shout out to Big Reaper who also sends a $5 super chat. Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah, see, we're all setting trends, man. And like I said, everything y'all send is gonna go to the channel. It's gonna help grow everything out. and pay writers and bills and all that other stuff. I don't get new Jordans or Hewings or anything like that. All right, it's for the channel. All right.
That's right. You ain't getting no Zions.
Oh man.
No Zions. I mean, if by some means Zion is included in the trade package with Zoe, then maybe I want some
exactly. Exactly. That's it.
Oh man.
That's it.
Word. Pull that off, Leon.
Ooh, that's
Exactly. Ooh, exactly. Yeah, put him in the trade package. I know Brock
right.
is a genius. He can do it. All right. All right, cool. All right, so that is our show. Let's go. All right, Alex, don't tell them where they can find you, sir.
Jay Ellis Raw. It's always fun hanging out with you guys, talking Knicks. Great win today.
right.
Man, I love this team, man. That's all I got to say. I love this team. Always fun talking with you guys. And for everyone out there, thanks for tuning for the KOT show.
That's right.
Find me over at Hoops Habit. I cover the Knicks and Denver Nuggets over there. I don't know why you want to read about the Denver Nuggets, but you can try reading about the Denver Nuggets. You're all Knicks fans in here, so
yeah.
Hey, man, I'm going to be trying to do something about that guy, so check it out. I also check out my stuff for KnicksFanTV.com. You can check out the podcast, Knicks, Jets, etc. We're on all streaming platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Overcast, you name it, we're there. And if you're all into sports betting, you can go check out what I got over at Tally Site. I do sports betting. I did call this one tonight, just letting you know.
Smart man. Did you? All right. Okay. Where can they find you, Raw?
Wait. My man Fritz. Did you see what my man Fritz said?
Wait. What do you say?
You got to mow the lawn, baby.
Oh no, not this one.
Oh, yeah, I'm on the lawn.
Not this one. Not this one, Fritz.
Okay.
I'm saving the lawn for something else. All right.
All right, saving the lawn. Okay.
But
Right.
good look.
Find me a
Fritz.
Raw Hebrew Remnant at YouTube, Raw Hebrew Remnant on Twitter.
All right. And yeah, you can find us on the KOT show on Twitter, the Knick of Time show on Instagram, Facebook. Also, you can go to knickoftimeshow.com to read all the blogs from our great writers. It's Fritz, Ken, Mikey, Rob, all those guys who contribute to the Knick of Time show. Shout out to you guys, always do a good job. And yeah, I'm on Instagram as well. If you want to follow me on Instagram, if you want to see some artwork, some logos, because I on Jealous draws things. That's because I draw things. I design. I do a bunch of stuff. And yeah, follow me if you want to do that as well.
The artiste, baby, the artiste.
Yeah, the artiste. All right. All right, that is our show. Thanks for supporting. Shout out to you, Kenny Scott. I see you, Iller, Big Reaper, everybody who supports.